The House is expected to formally vote on articles of impeachment against Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas next week.
Now, what you're seeing right now is House Speaker Mike Johnson speaking about the crisis at the border. Let's listen to what he's saying.
All on the dime of the American taxpayer. Ask yourself, is that right? Is that just? Is that good for America or anybody else involved? It's not. The open border, combined with the incentives to come, have produced a catastrophic year for our Border Patrol agents. In September 2023, U.S. Border Patrol recorded more than 270,000 illegal alien encounters at the southern border in one single month. That was the largest ever up to that point. But guess what? That record was broken just a couple months later, because in December, this past December 2023, CBP recorded more than 302,000 encounters, almost double the population of my hometown, Shreveport, Louisiana, in just 1 month. 302,000 people just walked right into the country, and we saw it down there with our own two eyes. And most recently, as President Biden has failed to exercise his constitutional obligation to police the border and protect Americans, now he's undermined Texas's ability to protect its citizens, its residents. You know, Texas has the constitutional authority to take care of its people. The first job of the government is to protect its citizens. And when Texas has acted to do that, the Biden administration and the president himself have intervened. They've taken them to court. They're cutting their razor wire. They're taking away the measures that the state of Texas has taken out of desperation to protect its own people. I could go on and on and on about all this, and the numbers and the actions, the 64 actions that we've documented that President Biden has specifically taken to open that border wide up. But it's crystal clear his policy choices and Secretary Mayorkas' refusal to comply with the law are driving this border catastrophe. The Biden administration has replaced detain and deport with catch and release. Instead of order, they have chosen for us disorder and chaos. Rather than securing the homeland, they've ceded the homeland to cartels and traffickers. By the way, at the Del Rio sector alone, at Eagle Pass, Texas, they told us the cartels are estimated, I think they said they're making $3.5 million a day trafficking human beings into the country. Do the math. They're making over $1 billion a year, bringing undocumented children, trafficked children, victims right into the country and bringing them in. They're doing this intentionally. They have chosen disorder and chaos. They have ceded the homeland to the traffickers and the cartels. And the Department of Homeland Security has effectively become a taxi driver to just help traffickers complete the last few miles of their human smuggling operation. And they're making billions of dollars in the process. It's all absolute madness, and it is dismantling the safety of our communities. The House Judiciary Committee, where I served before I became Speaker, recently released a report showing that right now there are more than 617,000.
All right, we were listening to House Speaker Mike Johnson there on the House floor. 64 actions, he says, that President Biden took that weakened the border. He also said that his administration additionally undermined Texas's ability to protect itself. We want to bring in now CBS News immigration and politics reporter Camilo Montoya-Galvez. Camilo, first of all, let's start off with a fact check. Talk to us about what we heard just now from Speaker Johnson and what the Biden administration says is happening at the southern border.
Good afternoon, Errol and Lana. It is true that the number of people crossing the U.S.-Mexico border has never been this high. There have been record levels of migrant apprehensions along the U.S.-Mexico border over the past 3 years under President Biden. That is true. It is also true that the sophisticated smuggling networks in Mexico that facilitate the illegal entry of these migrants are making billions of dollars in this very profitable illicit industry. It's also true that many of these migrants have been released into the U.S. with court notices that take years to complete. Those cases take years to complete because of how backlogged the system is. But it is also true, and the Speaker has not mentioned this, that millions of migrants have been deported or expelled by the Biden administration during this time span. Not everyone has been released into the country. And the reason that not everyone has been deported actually from the country is due to the fact that some countries like Venezuela actually limit deportations from the U.S. So that's something that's outside of any administration's control.
And Camilo, surely as viewers watch all of this, no matter what side of the aisle you're on, the solution is a bipartisan agreement in Congress, which they appear to be close to. But the GOP has now led to this impeachment effort of Mayorkas. How likely is that? And what precedent would it set amid all these problems?
Well, the Republican-led House, led by Speaker Johnson, is moving full steam ahead to impeach Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, arguing that he has lied to Congress and also failed to fully enforce federal immigration law at the U.S.-Mexico border. At this point, Aaron and Lana, it looks very likely that Mayorkas will become the first cabinet secretary to be impeached since 1876, so that is near unprecedented. That move will be near unprecedented. But it is also true that the Senate will likely not convict him and that he will ultimately not be removed from office. Still, it's pretty remarkable because Secretary Mayorkas, as Errol and Lana, you know, has been one of the top negotiators representing the Biden administration in these talks with Republican and Democratic senators in Congress. And so that is pretty remarkable. And in terms of the long-term impact of this proceeding, constitutional experts, including conservative ones, have said that there may be legitimate and valid concerns about the way Mayorkas and the Biden administration have handled the humanitarian crisis along the U.S.-Mexico border. But they have said that the impeachment proceeding is not the proper vehicle to settle these very stark policy disputes and disagreements. And so elections are. That's their legal argument. And so it could have wide-ranging implications for how the Congress treats this impeachment proceeding later on.
Well, we certainly know that this will be one of those major election issues. In the meantime, a convoy is currently headed to Eagle Pass, Texas, to rally against the migrant influx. That town, you were just down there reporting, it is subject to this ongoing dispute that we heard Secretary Johnson reference between the Biden administration and Texas officials. What's the latest that you can tell us?
Well, Lana, the state of Texas is not backing down in the showdown with the Biden administration in the border town of Eagle Pass. The Texas National Guard is still blocking federal Border Patrol agents from processing migrants in a public park in Eagle Pass, saying that it needs to fortify it with razor wire and other barriers to deter illegal crossings. The Department of Justice has now referred the matter to the Justice Department, so this could quickly turn into the latest legal battle between Abbott and the Biden administration on immigration.
All right, Camilo Montoya-Galvez, we appreciate that comprehensive update. Thank you.
Thanks.